Yeah, welcome to the open book, where truth don't hide, stories ride, and every chapter got that power. Turn the page, now you stepping in, where real ones talk and the fake pretend. From viral heat to deep convo, we write the truth, let the whole world know. This ain't just a channel, it's a movement. The open book, every story, every voice.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha. I hope everyone has had a marvelous Monday. It is the beginning of the week. We are kicking off a week for new opportunities, meeting new people. You never know what can happen. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's see who we have here so far. Make sure y'all hit the like button and let everyone know that we are live. Okay. Also, if you would like to support the host, you can do that in a variety of ways. One way would be to buy a coffee. That link is pinned at the top of the screen. You're welcome to send a super sticker, super chat, or a cash app, which is scrolling on the screen. All right, let's see who we have here. Hey, Shirley Shells, my sister's in the building. And thank you for being first, sis. I appreciate you being here. Hey, Dreamy Girl is in the building. Welcome, sis. Thank you for joining. Hey, Cherry, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Y'all hit that like button so we're going to get right into it. Okay. Now, y'all, over this past week, okay, we're coming, I think, well, it hasn't been a week since it ended, but we're coming up on some new news and update on tomorrow in the Diddy trial. Okay, a lot of things took place last week, including some things we're gonna get into today. So I do know tomorrow they're supposed to have like a remote conference where the judge is going to decide whether to move up the sentencing hearing, okay? Because right as of right now, it is in October, and the defense team wanted it moved up, okay? So they are going to discuss that on tomorrow. So we will or should have an update with that on tomorrow. Hey, Mary, welcome. Thank you for joining. Now, I know that during the trial, we probably got tired of hearing about freak offs, baby oils, and all of that. I know I got tired of it. It was overkill, at one point. But little did we know that there was so much other beef and drama taking place there at the courthouse. Now, we kind of touched on some of it last week, but y'all, over the weekend, more came out, okay, from various viewpoints, okay, where we had content creators explaining themselves what really happened from their perspectives and why, okay. Now, a name that is really going around like wildfire in the YouTube streets would be TISA Tales, okay. And up until probably yesterday, TISA had not really gone into a lot of details because people were really just saying her name, telling what happened, and so forth. And she really hadn't defended herself and came out and said too much about it up until yesterday. So I started thinking about this thing as the TISA train. And today we're actually going to go on a train ride. Okay. So I hope that y'all are ready. I know usually we take our YouTube cars around these YouTube streets, but tonight we're going on a train ride and we're going to make various stops tonight. Okay. Now, let me tell you that at each of these stops, you may feel the range of emotions. I'm giving you the disclaimer first. You may feel the range of emotions. You may agree or disagree with others, but let's be respectful because we have security in the chat. Okay. Okay. And so we want to hear because, y'all, it is so important to hear various sides of a story. really none of us were there. Now, there may be some people that are on YouTube that were actually there and witnessed some of these things, but it's good to have an even perspective of listening to everyone's side, okay? Because everyone has a different view, vantage point, and so forth. And sometimes, y'all, and I talked about this weekend, everything is not hate or jealousy, okay? Everything's not hate, everything's not jealousy. Sometimes it can be a misunderstanding. Also, things could have already there was well, I did hear allegedly there was some beef prior to the trial. So then when you get to see people in person, that can be an awkward situation as well. And so tonight we're going to go on a little trip from stop to stop, and we will meet different content creators. You may know some, you may not. And we're going to hop aboard this TISA train ride. Now, let's all get your, if you got snacks, get your snacks. If you got drinks, grab your drinks. Let me say this live is for educational entertainment purposes only and is covered under the Fair Use Act. Information shared is alleged in our opinions as we react to various topics and people. Hey, Brahma Lena, welcome. Thank you for joining. Hey, Lucky Lady. She said, man, the lady in the thumbnail looked like me. So I had to click and figure out who the men were. Okay. You had me tickled on that part. All right, all aboard. We are hopping on the TISA Tales train. Make sure you are buckled into your seats. You said I see a brewery shop. Make sure you got your drinks, your beverage of choice. Make sure that you have everything that you need. Now, we don't allow any weapons on this ride, okay? So make sure that you have all of that in check. So, all aboard, let's go to the first stop. All right, so our first stop is going to none other than the NC Beat, the baddest blogger, none other than Gerald Jackson. Okay, let me pull up that stop. We're going to head on over there. Okay, here it is. All right. Make sure. Okay, let me make it bigger. All right, so y'all, I know that a lot of this content creator beef we probably would not have known about had it not been really for the viral footage of another stop that we're going to make tonight. Hey Pam, welcome. Hey Lolo sis. Had it not been for videos of some content creators kind of getting into like an altercation with TISA Tales, okay? And those videos started going viral. Then once we saw those videos, then there was this whole big thing that blew up to the point that everyone was saying, well, why is everyone on TISA Tales? Why are they doing this? And, you know, calling them names and so forth. But there were some things that also took place inside of the building that many people were not aware of. Now, one thing that a lot of those content creators have been saying was she lies a lot. Okay. And these are their words, not mine. We remember we are just spectators. We're watching this thing from the outside looking in. And so we want to give everyone pretty much a chance to express what happened, why they acted a certain way, and so forth. And so before we get started with his why and bringing out some of the lies that he felt that TISA was telling, we're going to start with the video where Gerald got into little words with TISA.
Run, what he said? We looking for her ass too. Piece of tail, where they at? Don't lie. Don't get to running. Don't get. See, they want to sit on the line and lie on people, and then they want to run when we want to get an interview. Don't run. The baddest dog looking for y'all ass.
Looking for you.
The baddest blogger looking for him. You know me, I expose people that lie on people. You know, and you know that's what I do.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? For a living. Okay.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Did you see TISA Tales? You ain't seen her.
Yeah, she's over there.
Oh, she with you. I'm finna go on her, ask her.
Now wait a second. Why that lady? She didn't try to cover for. She didn't try to cover for her anything. She like, oh, she over there, girl. You could have said, oh, I don't know. You allowed this man, knew he was already on probably 10. Okay. And you pointed her out. I just could not believe it. Shout out to the Hood Real. Wait. Look, I need my glasses. The Hood Realer, welcome. Men harassing women is lame as F. Okay. I was like, ma'am, she didn't try to make it any better. Thank you, Bramalena, for the super chat. She said, let's go. I'm here for the unbiased breakdown. Right. Because that's what you're going to get over here on the open book. I'm going to share my opinion. I will call out, hey, on any side. Okay. We just want to look at this thing as an even perspective and see what really happened, especially after more and more information is coming out.
Oh, here she go right here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. TISA Tales, what do you have to say about lying on Diddy every day? You came out here and lied on him. We just want to get your reaction.
Okay.
You said he was going to prison. He might be coming home. Just want to get your reaction. What do you think about Rico?
You hear me?
I think that much like you, the jury very ignorant, acted ignorant.
You calling the jury
No,
ignorant?
I'm saying the way you came up on me.
Look, then you see how bad she just lied. She just lied just in that moment, girl. How you gonna say, I feel like just as much as you, the jury was very ignorant. How you came up, the jury was very ignorant. And then you're calling the jury ignorant? No, how you walked up, girl, you just called me and the jury ignorant. Are you ignorant? No, are you dumb? I'm gonna say 10 out of 10. But at the end of the day, girl, look how you just lied just in that little clip. You just told a big burgundy lie.
Well, I've been looking for you because that's what journalists do.
Maybe here I am.
So what do you think about the Rico? What about all of the lies?
I think I'm on live right
Okay,
now.
that's what I
You
thought.
see how a liar, you see, oh, I think I'm alive now. Oh, I think no, we think you on some powder, girl. Okay, that's what we think. I think, why you run? This is what journalists do. So, here I am, baby girl. You is a theatrical drama queen with no Grammy. Okay, no Oscar. You are doing a terrible job at performing, ma'am, in your bedroom and outside of the Southern District of New York federal courthouse, you know, where they say you was working for the feds and you was outside, you know, reporting stuff that was going on back inside. That's what they said. And, you know, we just want to know.
And we talked about that they said part before, that is when you don't know things firsthand, then you really kind of don't know what you're talking about. And so TISA, once we get to her stop, is going to talk more about that part. Hey, Rebecca, welcome to everyone coming in. Because he said that they said, and I noticed too, in hearing some of the things that were being stated this weekend, that it was a lot of he said, she said stuff, but not firsthand stuff. And so that can make you look a certain type of way, and it can cause things to go to another level when it really did not have to.
This is a liar, y'all. This is a liar. I hope Diddy sue your ass. He ain't going to jail for life, baby girl. And your security guard ain't doing a good job.
Good, baby girl.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
Sad how we had to call you out.
Okay, so that was the first thing I wanted to show you all, because a lot of people had been seeing the video with Ratchet TV, which is the other content creator that was having words while TISA was on her live. And so he was not the only one that had addressed her during that live. Gerald Jackson from the NCB also went over there and had words with TISA that day as well. And so that was that snippet. So he's going to discuss in this clip some reasons why he felt the way that he did about TISA and call out some of the things. Welcome, Teresa. Thank you so much for hitting that like button and call out some of the things that he felt were lies. Okay, because I know that was one of the number one questions was, well, what is TISA lying about? Okay. Lucky Lady said, I clocked TISA being shady to Tasha K a while back, but her followers are rabid if you say anything or they call you jealous. Okay, now I have seen that. And y'all, what is so funny? I went to I was a part of another live on Saturday. Mr. CKB had a great live, and he was also talking about this. And y'all, I have not even seen some of those people before, but he had Tisa Tell's name in the comments. Baby, they will come for you. Okay. And she even said that on her live yesterday. And like I said, I support all of these people. I'm a subscriber as well. I think though I'm not and I'm just, this is me being transparent. I'm one that I don't get too invested in certain things. Like I like to look at evidence, facts. I need to hear from various parties. Okay, what really happened? Because what I've come to know, even as an educator, one child can come to tell you one thing, but then when you talk to the other one who was involved, they have a different story, okay? A vantage point of what really happened. So you have both sides, then you have the truth, okay? So it's like one of those things. So yeah, I'm gonna call out if people are wrong, in my opinion, I'm gonna call that out. But then if it's something that I also agree with, I'm not afraid to say that because the reality is we don't know anyone on here personally. Now, unless that's your relative, your friend in real life, that's different. But anyone can put on a persona and let you know what they want you to know behind this screen. Okay. I can say that I'm a millionaire right now. Y'all would, well, who's really going to look into that unless you really want to look into it? I can go with that. I could draw probably people over here because people are drawn to things like that. If they feel that you're really successful, people, we have the catfishers that put certain pictures because we're drawn to certain images and so forth. So I keep that perspective and I don't just start fighting folks in chats over a person that doesn't even know me. So it's okay to speak up, but coming for people, like steady coming for people if they have their own opinion, we got to just be careful of that, in my opinion. Hi Janet, welcome. My first impression of Gerald approaching TISA like that is kind of cringe. Not gonna lie, my opinion only. Right. Hey, Measure Man, TISA lies about everything. Okay, we welcome all opinions here. Shout out to Jay for the super sticker and for being a sponsor for tonight's live. Thank you so much. She either has mental health issues or on some good stuff. Not some good stuff. As a woman, she pulls in my heartstrings. Right, I admit it, but I'm listening. And you know what? Let me just say this too and preface this. I don't agree with the approach. Okay, no one should have to get approached like that, especially by men, and especially when you're alive. I think that people will receive things differently and in a better way if you have a conversation. But putting them on your live, people are around recording, that will escalate things. It definitely will escalate it.
Girl, why you lie? Why you always reporting lying? Bitch, get a job so you can stop all these lies. TISA Tells. Word on the current, TISA Tells with the dirty panties at the DIDDY trial. Y'all didn't know? Well, I'm here to tell you, I came to address this video that's going around where she talking about that Diddy still ain't gonna let me suck his dick. Why you worried about it? And all her peasant fans that's in the comments talking about, oh, you just trying to get seen by Diddy. I've been seen by.
Okay, hold on, y'all, 1 second. Now I have to address this. And Measurement, thank you for saying this. I don't like her saying attacking as a black man with black sons. We know how that goes. And she did this on the national stage. That, you know what, y'all, even as a black woman, I did have that feeling as well. Because we do know how that can go. Okay. Even, I mean, if you say a black man is here in my house, or it's like you to say attack and they're foaming at the mouth, trying to get at me, that puts an image into people's minds like, oh my gosh, and so that takes the rage level. It's almost like a rage bait scenario when you use certain words. Okay. Now approaching me, they approach me, they're out here recording me and so forth. So I think the verbiage also paints a certain picture as well. And I'm glad that you verbalized that, because that is something that I thought about too. I'm like, oh wow. I agree. He could have approached her differently. Should always keep it professional. Right. Exactly. Right. Why you always lying? Hi, Mrs. X. Welcome. Janice said, I have a question. Is she the young lady who dislikes her mother? Who? TISA Tales? No, that's not her. I haven't heard that about her. Yeah, he could have approached her differently. Right. And I think a lot of people agree on that part. The approach, and they weren't up on her. First of all, she had 2 security guards there. But the simple fact that you are approaching me, talking to me, yelling, I'm on live, you're recording, that escalated the situation. Yeah, she said they were attacking her, foaming at the mouth, trying to get at her. They were saying that they were going to unalive her. It was a lot of words used that took that to another level, in my opinion. Yes.
Them, and I'm gonna show you. I've been on Nancy Grace in 2017, and I'm gonna show you. Clock that T. And TISA Tells, you reached out to me in 2023 to get me on your line ass platform. Tell all them lies, about the Shanquella Robinson case, and you told me you was a big fan of me. So tell your fans, no, he's not a fan. No, he's not a fan of me. I'm a fan of his. Get it right. Report that, since you want to keep on reporting all these lies about Sean Diddy Combs. Why you lie? TISA Tells, why you always lying? When you gonna get a job so you can stop reporting all these lies? Girl, all you do is lie in size. Don't want to show the people your license and ID, lying on Nancy, culture vulturing ass Grace. Talking about that the people is threatening you. Where is the Rico at, girl? Did you find Rico? What about that question that came out where the jury was trying to ask if a
and to be honest, she was saying Diddy supporters. So that was kind of grouping. I'm trying to think if it was black. Did she specifically say black? I know she kept saying Diddy supporters, but they're going to show a clip of that, and so we can clarify that. Welcome everyone coming in. Okay. Shout out to Measured Man for the super chat. Just because. Thank you so much. And thank you for being a member too. I appreciate you being a sponsor for today's live. TISA did lie about what happened. So where are the police reports, TISA, if you say that someone threatened to unalive her? Now, you know what? That's a good point, Lucky Lady. I have not heard anyone bring that up as well. That is a very good point. If you were threatened like that, that would have been the first thing I would have done. That's a very good point. Yes, I ain't got no respect for them weaklings to me for screaming on a woman instead of talking like an adult. Welcome aboard, y'all. Tonight, we are on a train ride, okay? Our first stop is none other than Gerald Jackson, the baddest blogger from the NC Beat. He was one of the content creators that recorded himself and others were recorded nearby of having words with TISA Tales. And we just showed that clip earlier. And so Gerald went live, I believe, on Saturday morning, kind of explaining some background and kind of laying the foundation that he was not clout chasing. A lot of people were saying they're just trying to clout chase off of TISA. Okay. Well, he was showing that, and he had evidence in this video, because I'm not going to show his whole video, but he had evidence in this video of her sending him an email, asking would he come onto her show and things like that. And so it also, y'all, it made me wonder, because these people had been around each other for almost 7 weeks. Some of them have spoken to each other previously, that there had been some type of not relationship like we ace moon coon or we're friends or things like that, but they were not complete strangers. You know, if it was a complete stranger, then I would have put it out there like that. But if I've emailed you before asking for you to come onto my show and you come up to me, record, calling me out, I would say, what you doing? You know, it would have been a different type of anger. Like, you know, you wrong for that. But to say, oh my gosh, they were like trying to attack me, these Diddy support, like that took it to another level, in my opinion, on that part, because there had been some type of communication prior. So he wasn't completely a stranger. Not making it right, but I'm saying he wasn't a complete stranger either.
Recipient acts for a controlled substance and it is given to them, does that constitute distribution? And you came out and you reported to the people, oh, we got our first, the jury has got their first guilty on John Diddy Combs. It relates to Rico. Girl, stop lying. You came out and lied about how many grams was possessed, walking all through the courtroom like you were the feds. You had a badge. You know, you was skipping the line, going through the golden doors, doing what you want to do around the courthouse. And we all observed it, and we're like, what is different about her and us? Why she ain't got to stand in this hot ass sun? Why she get to get out that little ass patrol car and go inside the courthouse and get to do all these tricks that you could have been doing at Diddy's free call if you stop being a fucking hater, if you stop hating and reporting on lies? What about, you said that Diddy's kids was his first victims? Do you have any proof of that? Just because Diddy is a defendant in a case does not mean you cannot be sued for your defamatory statements that you have made about this man's family. You even lied and stuff about the Shanquella Robinson's case. You came on my page and on my blog, but my little page, right? And why does my little intimidate your much? You thought you was getting your rocks off when you said going back, your little page ain't doing it. You really think YouTube is my page? Baby, YouTube came late in the game. I've been on Facebook, over 400,000 followers. My website have over 30,000 subscribers. You are one of them. You are a big fan. Remember that email? Let's pull it up since you don't remember that. Okay. And just know I got a little bit of powder over here for you too, for you and your friend Armand can snort away, because we don't want to see y'all hoes no more at the courthouses with all them lies that you've been telling.
And also, Gerald has a beef with Armand Wiggins. Okay. I was like, man, there's a lot of moving parts in this thing. Okay. And welcome aboard to everyone that is joining. Hi, is it Gloglum Tara? Welcome. Criminal case pending. He shouldn't have been in New York. He is on bond. Oh, you're talking about Ratchet TV? Not Gerald, though, right? I haven't heard that about Gerald. Hi, Lisa. Welcome aboard. We are on our train ride tonight. This is Stop One with Gerald Jackson, the baddest blogger. And he is discussing his beef with TISA Tales. Okay, hop aboard this TISA Tales train. Okay, because she is all over these YouTube streets this weekend. So we are really spectators, okay, to this show. And tonight we are watching some of the things that unraveled over the course of the weekend. Let's see. Hey, Tip. Neek did a really good live explaining the line situation and creators paying for line sitters for them. Yes, she did, Tip. And I actually have a snippet of that we're going to talk about tonight as well. Yes, and I did hear that allegedly. Yes. Oh my goodness. I was like, this thing is crazy. Yep, I did hear that.
TISA tells. All lies. I'll make it bigger for you. Put me down here. On January 5th, 2023 at 2:56 p.m. from TISA Tales at Gmail. Hi, Gerald. My name is TISA, and I'm a fellow YouTuber. I have been watching your coverage of the Shanquella Robinson case from the beginning, and I'm a big fan. Your in-depth coverage and interview style is unmatched. I would love to have you on my channel for an interview style sit down where we discuss the case up to this point, your opinions, and anything else you'd like to talk about. Please let me know if this is something you are interested in. Below, please find a link to my channel. Look forward to hearing from you. Okay. Now, let's go.
Car insurance used to
Okay.
stress me.
So that was Gerald Jackson. And if y'all want to drop one of the mods, if y'all can drop his link to watch that entire video, because he's also going to talk about the Nancy Grace situation, because a lot of people were bringing that up, that people were mad that TISA was able to do interviews with um, various outlets, you know, Nancy Grace being one. Well, he showed proof that he had already been on the Nancy Grace show before, back in 2018. And so he showed proof of that. And it was another incident when he talked about Shanquella, that he had content because he was the one, because I followed Gerald, and during that time, he was the one that put out the original Cabo 6 photos first. But then other content creators did start taking his content, using it, the pictures, even the news outlets used those pictures. They did not have pictures of the original, you know, the Cabo 6, the friends that were there with Shanquella. And until he posted it, he was the first one. And so he showed how some of his content had been used by TISA. So the reason that that was important in watching that was it also kind of gives some context to they were not strangers. Okay. So it's like, we, on one hand, we don't agree with his approach whatsoever to a woman, and especially with her doing her live. It was unprofessional, in my opinion. But at the same time, I don't know if my level, and that's just me, my level of anger would have been like that if it's somebody that I've tried to have them on my show. We have had communication before, and so forth. And so just providing some of that context, okay? Let's see. Ramalena said, we aren't just spectators, they're beef. Be it real or fake, makes them rich with views. And here I am watching. Right. Okay, from Elena, you are right. And when I say that, I'm saying we are on the outside of the situations looking in. Okay, because we're trying to hear this thing from all angles. Okay. Now, some people, let me say this, some people are going to refuse to see it from any other angle than from their favorite content creator. Their favorite content creator is right and everyone else is wrong. I have seen that in various sectors. Okay. But we're all human. We can be right sometimes and we can be wrong sometimes. But some people just not going to call that out. Shout out to Black Butterfly for the super chat. She said Gerald needs to focus on that hairline as hard as he focuses on TISA. Got that George Jefferson with plaits. Hater. Thank you for being a sponsor for today's live as well. Let's see. The Hood Reeler said, legend has it they named him Ratchet TV because his halitosis breath travels 35 feet out every time he speaks. Oh my goodness, y'all. And Tisa talked about that yesterday. I don't think I've ever seen the goofy side of Tisa until yesterday. Hey, Cancer 66, welcome. Thank you for joining. Okay, let's see. I think I got behind a little. I'm trying to, before we go to our next stop, trying to watch some of y'all's comments. Mary said Nancy Grace reposted the video of Tisa saying she was being attacked, and the thumbnail read Nancy Grace reporter Tisa Tell attacked because she wouldn't apologize to Diddy. She posted it today. Mary, thank you. Okay. Because I was going to bring that up when we go to our next stop. I was going to bring that up. I said, no, wait a second. Is Nancy Grace trying to be messy? Because that clip had already been shown. Okay. Now, check out the timing of that. Okay. And we're about to see this on stop number one, on stop number 2. Okay. Now, that had already been shown. All of this has transpired over the weekend, this past weekend. Things had kind of almost quieted down after the Tisa Tells video, her live yesterday. I really hadn't heard too much this morning, okay? Out of nowhere, Nancy Grace's team reposted that video. Because I thought I was tripping. I said, is this the one that was already posted? And she did put Nancy Grace reporter attacked. So she called Tisa Tells her reporter at that point. It was no longer a content creator, YouTuber, blogger. It was the reporter. Okay. I saw that and I was going to bring that up. So I'm glad that you brought that up. Okay, Team Tisa, she never switched up to me. Okay, shout out to entertainment. You love the queen is in the building. Hey, yo, welcome. Thank you for joining, sis. Measure Man said, but they need to understand their channels are at risk, and other than reading palms, tarot and psychic readings, Jackie's husband's only income, real estate market. Measure Man, how do you know so? See you in other chats. I said, who is Measure Man? Because he knows a lot. And I know you over in other chats, but I just pay attention sometimes from the bushes, y'all. And hey, because baby, it's been a battle out here. You don't know when to jump in and when to jump out. Mary said, would and oops. So does that mean she works for Nancy? Okay. That's what I want to know. Is that a promotion? Why Butterfly talking about his you being messy? Okay. Life said maybe I'm biased, but I believe Tisa and I respect Neek's stance on everything as well. Yes, we're gonna make a stop at her place tonight as well. Okay. Yes, Janet. She was unprofessional also, calling them broke, dusty, ashy ninjas. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't agree with that. And I brought that up the other day too. I didn't agree when she called them she didn't say ninja. She actually said the guz, okay, while she was live in front of, I think they said like 30,000 people on her live. I was like, oh, I didn't like that either. Y'all remember Nancy got kicked off cable because she made guests on. I didn't know why she got unalive. I mean, not unalive, but kicked off. Wow, she has a cotton tongue. Okay. All right. Hey, Ebony. All right, let's go to our next stop. All aboard the Tisa Tells train. We are about to head on over to stop number 2. All right. we are headed on over to stop number 2. Now, some of y'all may get a little upset at this stop. Okay. But hey, we are here nonetheless. You can't go back yet. Okay. Because this is the train ride. You got to stay on here to the end. Okay. I had to do a double take. Yes, it's 2 Janice in the chat. Welcome to both of y'all, and welcome to everyone coming in case I missed you. Thank you so much for joining, and welcome aboard this train ride. Okay. Shout out to Black Butterfly for the super chat. She said Gerald needs to talk about the SR family ran him off the case for botching the case and trying to extort. Allegedly. Oh, Lord. know what? I did wonder what happened with that. It did get quiet, and the government really not doing anything, y'all. It's so sad. Okay, it's so sad that Shaquilla Robinson case. Sad. Uh, she's very disingenuous. I used to subscribe to her, but she lies too much. Oh Lord. Shout out to Measure Man. He says at the end of the day, manage your emotions or your emotions will manage you. And that goes for all. And I agree with that. I agree with that. Shout out to you all. And thank you for being sponsors for tonight's live. All right, let's go to our next one. All right. So at our next stop is none other than Ratchet TV. Okay. Now, after Ratchet was in New York and he did a live kind of going over some things the other day, but he had finally arrived home where he was able to sit in his chair, really pull up videos and so forth. And he wanted to discuss it more in depth and tell why he said certain things. Okay, I'm trying to get a B at least on this line. Okay, Ramalena said this is a test. Okay, and so did we put Gerald's? Did y'all put Gerald's channel in the chat? So as we're going to these stops, let's make sure we put their channels into the chat. So if y'all want to watch the videos in their entirety, you can do that as well. I'm just not going to play their whole videos here right now. There are certain parts I do want us to focus on. Okay, so let's get started.
They're not telling you that the government didn't call any of the fucking witnesses. The government chose not to in the defense. But why would the defense subpoena KK and the government would throw KK in a cross and fuck her up? Why would Diddy take the stand whenever he could get fucked up in the cross? So it was not the case that they presented to us in the very beginning. So we can all say that that's fair to say that ain't the same case that they told us it was going to be in the beginning. But I digress, man. You know what I'm saying? I digress. Let's get into these videos. Let's see, how do I...
Since Black Butterfly brought that up, I did see that. Thank you, Dreamy Girl. I did see that today. Okay, there's a content creator, Ms. Lowdown, shared a video in that allegedly Ratchet TV was on bond. Now, he had gotten approval to go to New York and went back home back in May. But the second time, allegedly, I don't know how true it is, he didn't get permission. So he's gone viral on this, but I don't know if it's going to land him into more trouble. Okay. And I think that she stated that the court hearing is next month. Okay. So, yes, I did see that video on today.
I want to start this, man. Let me see. How do I want to start
Breaking
this?
news tonight.
Okay, yeah, here we go. Let's get right here. What's going over here, man?
Texas locals get a brand new mini split system for as low as $39 a month and no money down.
Let's go on over here, man. So let's get over here and chop it up about this, man. We got to chop it up, gang. Are y'all ready to start this show, man? Double tap that screen and let me know y'all are ready, man. So let's listen to this.
Two other counts come into play. Sean Combs, the verdict, the split. What happened?
When the jury walked in, everybody was on pins and needles. I'm not going to lie. Everybody in the courtroom expected him to be guilty.
That is a lie. I swear on everything, y'all. That is a lie. I'm going to tell y'all what happened in the courtroom. Listen to me. Listen to me. When they said not guilty on the first charge, everyone cheered. Everyone was like, oh my God, yes. Everyone was happy. No one was like, oh my God, it's got camera. No one, the air was not let out of the room. That is a lie. Everyone jumped up and cheered. Tina, you was there. Tina was there. Tina Monique was there. Tina, what happened when they said not guilty on the first charge? What happened when they said not guilty on whatever they said, guilty on a charge? That's when the air was let out of the room. The air was let out of the room on the guilties and everyone cheered for the not guilties. Am I lying, Tina?
Now, let me say this. The reason I think that they were happy is because Diddy already thought he had it in the bag. Okay. I think he thought even before they announced it that he was going to be found not guilty. So I would have thought they would have been rejoicing at that. Okay. That he was being found not guilty. Never like Nancy, too negative for me, but it is what it is. Hi, love and happiness. Okay. Jay said, I heard on another channel people were clapping and happy. I thought so too. I thought so too. Life said the strange part of all this is most of the people who has issues with TISA and her coverage are men. Wow. And you know what? Life, I'm glad that you brought that up because that was all that I saw speaking out about this until this past weekend when Neek at Night was the first woman that I saw. Now, maybe there were other women, but I said, wow, I am happy that she was bold enough to come out and speak up because thank you, Dreamy Girl. Shout out to the mods in the building. That's Ratchet TV's channel if you want to watch the full video in its entirety. That it I wanted to hear a woman. Okay. Not to say I didn't believe the men, but sometimes if it's just men, then everybody gonna say, oh, these men wrong for that, blah, 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 blah. But when it's a woman explaining what happened and what her experience was, then I think more people started listening to some of the other views. And some of what she stated coincided with what some of the men were saying. Okay. And we'll see that because we are the ones she attacks. Wow. I do think his family should not have been celebrating prematurely on that corner outside of court. Okay, Jay, I said the same thing. But when I said that, some people were saying, well, why do you think they should be clapping and all of that? I didn't really mean it like that. It was just, he, for one, has this grandeur attitude that, it just was something about them. I'm not going to even get into that part. But yeah. Man, the Fed's just holding Diddy for right now while more charges roll in. Diddy ain't going nowhere. And that's a topic I've been seeing this today too. Is he going to walk tomorrow or not? Will they move the sentencing hearing up? Those were some other things that they were discussing. Neek was very fair in her assessment. She explained when she thought TISA was wrong and when these men were wrong. Exactly, Tip. I agree. I watched Neek too busy. She wasn't taking sides. She respected why some people may feel how they do, which is fair. Right. I agree, Life, because look, we have to give people the benefit of the doubt and how they feel. That's just how they feel. We can't change that. Okay. So how do we make it better? Like if that's how they feel, that's how they feel. We can't force people to feel another type of way. But where do we go from there? It's a lot of stuff that the feds could have brought up, but didn't because they're holding ammo for next cases. I can agree with that and see that. He might have gotten bail. They celebrated. He was still in the court. Right. TISA is too biased. You can goose your side. However, spreading false narratives is unprofessional.
Tina was up there with me. Tina Monique was there. They said, wow, that crazy, she lied like that. I'm telling y'all, when they said not guilty, everyone cheered. When they said guilty, the air was let out the room. They said, TISA, dry ass weed. So this is a lie right here. I'm just breaking down all the lies, bro. This is, okay, so that's a lie.
On at least the sex trafficking, there was a somber tone. They walked in, and when they said, please read, and they said, what do you find me? On count one, not guilty. It was a bomb that went off in the courtroom. The public audibly gasped. Nobody was expecting that.
That is a lie. That's another lie. That is a complete lie. Like, what in the hell are we talking about? That did not happen. So she sound like an animated character. TISA is crazy. So TISA tells born. Oh, they got her name right there. There you go. There you go. Cheese.
Okay, Measurement said, so you said more for like the Inquirer? When we see, like we do see a lot of those stories when you're in the grocery stores and those magazines, you're like, is that real? That true or not? You silly. Oh my goodness. You can be pro woman without putting men down unfairly. Yeah, I agree. Mainstream media is dangerous too. Yeah, that's true too. That's why the judge said, Bond, slow down. Okay. He thought he was about to walk out for real, for real. Remember, she was going hard on Jonathan Majors and threw a party during court hearings and lied on this man from her sources. You know what? I heard them bring up Jonathan Majors' name, but I didn't know what happened with that. I didn't see her coverage on Jonathan Majors, but I did hear that name come up.
Yep, you got it. I ain't gonna say it, but he definitely just put it all in the chat. Y'all can, you know what I'm saying, shot a screen. You know what I'm saying, shot a screen. They say if she's a witch, that's expected. Said she's a psychopath. I hate the way she explains things. They said TISA tells lies. She was in the actual courtroom. Oh my God! See these? Here you go again. Here they go again. She was in overflow, and Sean Gundy will tell you that. And even in overflow, they have a big ass screen where you can see the entire courtroom. That is bullshit.
Right, Jay.
I said Timu wig. TISA telling stories.
There were tears of joy from Diddy's side. Count 2. What say ye? Not guilty.
What say ye?
Again, another bombshell went off. People were in utter disbelief. Even Diddy's most ardent supporters did not expect him to get off on the count of sex trafficking with.
See, another lie. So you telling me Diddy supporters? No, I ain't even got to break down that lie. We know damn well Diddy supporters was riding with Diddy the whole way. No one up there was supporting Diddy that was pissed off about anything that was going on.
Cassie, count 3. When they said guilty for transportation of a prostitute, when they said guilty for the mayonnaise, that is when Diddy's team actually cheered. Yeah, that's all right. Okay, okay, come.
That is a lie.
That's what I didn't believe either.
She is just. What are you talking about? So you telling me when they said guilty, Diddy's team jumped up and said, "Yay, okay, that's cool, that's cool." Uda in the building, Uda. Now come on, bro, be real. We was all there, fam. Did any of this shit happen, Uda? Sean Gundy already done said all that shit was lies. I'm pretty sure Uda is gonna tell y'all that's bullshit. Like we was all there, bro. Uda, did any of this happen? Thank you. That shit didn't happen, bro. None of that shit happened.
Are you like the millions of Americans who have had their auto insurance rates go way up?
None of it happened. TISA telling lies.
What's happening?
Literally, they did not jump up there and say, "Yay, that's okay, that's okay." What are you talking about? They were just sitting there. Diddy was praying, had his head down. I mean, whenever they said not guilty on certain shit, you could see that they were definitely happy about the not guilty verdicts, but they did not jump up for the guilty ones and say, "That's okay, that's okay." That didn't happen.
Almost like you were watching a pro football game. When the other ones came in after that, there were jaws on the ground. It was unbelievable. People were looking at the jury, searching into how they could get a verdict in this day and age. They heard Cassie's mother, the 20,000. They heard Capricorn Clark. They heard about the savage beatings. And it was unbelievable that the only thing they said was prostitution. And that is because Daniel Phillips, in his testimony, actually said, at least I'm guessing that
she breaking down from the cry about this shit. Like this is something this like you fucked up on your job. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Me and the folks down at the job, like we failed on this one. This is like a we thing, not a you thing.
Because that he got paid to have sex for money. It was a travesty. It was an all.
Mary, clock it. I did clock that yesterday. I didn't see anyone say anything about it though in the chat because I was like, well, wait a minute. And it was just that's an honest question. What was the amount? Okay. Was it the 500? Because it did go from 500. Then the next time was 2,000. I said, why are they charging $2,000 for some transcript? Maybe log into the Twitter guy. I forgot his name. The Twitter guy or something like that. I would not pay $2,000 for that. No. Okay. So I did hear that, and I thought I was crazy because nobody said anything. Okay. The first time I heard him, I knew I could not listen to him. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was just wondering about that part. Also, I think initially she said it was arranged. Okay, got you. Oh yeah, Inner City Press, right. Go Tisa, go. You must be doing something right. Got a whole show about you. She lying, she lying. Tisa girl. Tip said, I think some of what people are calling lies are opinions. Did she lie about some things? Maybe, but calling her opinions lies because you don't agree. Now, I agree with that. Right. Because some things can be a person's opinion, not necessarily that they're saying that as fact. Right. I agree.
All out circus, everybody, including myself, are running to safety.
I got a question for you, Tisa Tells, and everyone's going to want to know this. You're in a car right now. You had to leave the courthouse. Why?
I had to leave the courthouse because Diddy's supporters were out of control. The first time I ran and did my live, of course, I had 2 armed security guys. Everyone told me, the people at the courthouse was like, make sure you have security. There's a lot of weird stuff going on.
Hold on, wait. So the court, you just said the people in the court building told you better have security because there's a lot of weird shit going on. Why would the court people be contacting you to tell you to bring security? Because there's a lot of crazy shit going on. Come on, y'all, make this make sense. I'm just asking y'all.
So those were some differences as well. She said the court told her to get the security, and then the other side was saying her boyfriend told her to get security. So they were saying there was a it's like some of those things where I don't know if it's just like honest little hiccups or mistakes but then it looks like you're lying. You're saying this one time and then you're saying something else. Let's see, right? She said 500 when she paid 1,500. It kept changing. Yeah, I noticed that. But you need to state as opinion. But she is lying about the situation. There's no opinion about what happened. Right. What she's not saying is her opinion. And that car, exactly on that part. Yep. She applied for those privileges and was granted them. Right. She did bring that up, and we're going to let her tell her side as well. Why the court only told her. So she had a plug. Right. Because that would look shady to some other people. Like, how can I get that deal? Okay. Goodness. Tisa lies unnecessarily. They are not opinions. She flat out lies. She told everyone that Jane Doe was not who everyone thought it was. That was unnecessary. We all knew who it was. Oh, okay. And that could have been because of the slip up with that super chat and the person put the name. Maybe she was trying to throw it off so it wouldn't bring too much attention. That people started seeing it and saying it from that live. Jermaine might have sent her security. He has a connection in New York. Oh,
So for the people to say I'm just hating, why would the court? It says so. Now the court told her that, exactly. So now you're saying the only reason why you had security is because the court. They said she's telling on herself. She needs to stop. No. It sounds like you're telling on yourself at this point. So you was in contact with the courts, just like when that email came out about someone contacted the courts and let them know that you was doxing the federal witnesses. And I even asked you that too on the elevator. You was doxing them federal witnesses. She told me, I ain't dox anybody. Yeah, yes, the fuck you did. You doxed 2 federal witnesses, and you found out about the email that got sent to the judge. How did you know about that as well? I said, Tisa tells on herself. She literally just said the reason why she had security was because the courts told her that you better have security because there's a lot of crazy shit going on. They said, tell me one more lie, please.
Welcome everyone coming in.
I ran and did my live. Of course, I had 2 armed security guys. Everyone told me, the people at the courthouse was like, make sure you have security. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. It wasn't just me, but I'll tell you what I experienced. Diddy supporters surrounding me, threatening me, saying that they were going to hurt me. It was a serious situation.
None of that happened.
Now she's saying Diddy supporters, okay? But a lot of people had seen those videos. Okay. Now, when you group people like that too, that is also paint a certain picture, in my opinion. Okay. Because then it'll be like everybody who supports Diddy is trying to attack her. No, because some people that support Diddy weren't there clowning and acting up. Okay. Some didn't even care like that. They like his music, just like the R. Kelly thing. Okay. So it's making it like this man, his supporters. Y'all, we've seen this on the YouTube streets where supporters have been grouped together. Everyone doesn't move the same. Everyone doesn't think the same or act the same. They may just have support of a person. But to me, it's like being exaggerated to his supporters. They are all out there clowning. Well, what about the people that did support him? Okay, what were they doing out there? Because we saw a variety of people, and I don't know how we could tell them apart unless they were wearing one of those free Diddy t-shirts that they were paying $20 an hour to wear. Okay, now if it was, and this is another thing, there was not a whole group or mob surrounding her. It makes it look like it's a group of these supporters that came and they were trying to get at me. Okay, because I'm telling you, that creates a certain picture. When we were taking writing classes, okay, the language that you use could give a visual to the reader. Okay, so it works the same way here. If you are describing an event and you're not just saying, just thinking the difference of this. Well, a couple of content creators came out while I was doing my live and, trying to have words confronting me about different lies. I don't really know what lies they were talking about, but I got a little frustrated, flustered during that moment. Okay, that's one. Oh my God, there was a mob of Diddy supporters out here surrounding me, trying to come at me, foaming at the mouth. Now, out of those two descriptions of what took place at that time, which one do you think people gonna go with and get in their feelings about? The second one. Okay, because they're gonna be like, these Diddy supporters out here doing it's gonna be Diddy supporters this, Diddy supporters that. So you have to pay attention to language, y'all. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Just think about the differences in how that description took things as well. Pay attention. She said security walked her out of the court. If it was private security, how did they get weapons inside the court, which has prompted an inquiry into this investigation? Oh, because you can't have weapons inside the court. That is the problem. Many I noticed on this YouTube are hate jumpers. Many like jumping on a hate wagon. Exactly. Like you have to see different sides. I'm not one that does that. Okay, I don't think like everyone. I'm an independent thinker. I like to think things through. Just like I don't have to have anyone in my chat that agrees with my views. You can have opposing views as long as we don't just disrespect each other or each other in the chat or me or so forth, But yeah, I welcome that because it does take you to a growth mindset. Sometimes we have to open our minds and think about things from a different perspective. What if it had changed the language had changed in that moment? I don't get specifically males from that comment. And that's why I said I wanted to hear her words again, Bramalena, and make sure. But those men that were pretty much that doing that were the black men. But she didn't say black men. She said Diddy supporters on this part. In NYC, TISA, seriously, Diddy supporters were about to jump you. As a native New Yorker, I smell lies. Plenty of women were insulting her too. Yep, there were some women that were around during that time and saying things, but they weren't asking her questions while she was live and things like that. They were around recording and so forth. Yes, language creates life, right? The foaming at the mouth took it to a whole other level. Okay, I think Diddy is a scumbag. However, these charges were bogus. The government was overzealous and ill prepared. The jury did their job and the right verdict was rendered. TISA is being too emotional. Yeah, because we didn't want him overcharged. Like you got to show the evidence, okay, on that. And I think some of the evidence, just in my opinion, was weak on that. Now, if they would have brought in some of these other witnesses that's out here talking now, I'm like, well, you could have shown Rico and things like that. Put Cassie over there. Put Jane Doe. They did more of that than he did. KK, put her over there too. You just have to be logical. Some people can be right about some things and wrong about the others. In a nutshell, Measure Man, right there. Okay, we don't always think everything. And one person, y'all, I saw under one of my videos, and I had to come in back to her. She said, "Oh my gosh, I cannot believe they're doing this. TISA tells never lies." Okay, ma'am, excuse me. Thank you for watching this video, but ma'am, that in itself is a lie. Okay. I haven't met a human being that never lies. So see how we put people on pedestals and making these comments that don't even make sense. When we say a person never does anything, if we say a person never does anything, y'all, we have gone to a dangerous level. We have put that person on a pedestal that they should not be. Okay, because we can all lie, we can all mess up. That's just my opinion on that part. So yeah, I get that. She said me and later. Okay, we're gonna keep watching.
That didn't happen. There was people over there filming. There was not a bunch of Diddy supporters surrounding you. It was Ratchet TV walking up to you, asking you, why did you lie? I think maybe one to two other people might have asked you something. I never even got close to you. Matter of fact, go watch my live and tell me, did I ever get within 15 feet of that lady? I was never close to her. I never got close enough for her to even feel any kind of way about me. I was far back, so I was talking loud so she can hear me and so everybody else could hear me. I never approached this lady. She is lying. They said she was by herself behind the barrier. Exactly. She was not surrounded. If she was surrounded, that means there would have been people on the side of her, people in front of her, and people behind her. This girl is a pathological liar. They said you were never close to her. Exactly.
It got so bad, and there was so much chaos and
chaos. Yeah, you're taking a loss.
Violence.
You're taking a loss. This is an L. She just said this. There was so much chaos. Fam, she is this is all made up.
threatening me, saying that they were going to hurt me. It was a serious situation. It got so bad, and there was so
She said it was a serious situation. Boy, this girl can sell a story.
much chaos and violence that they actually had to lock the courtroom down and force the Diddy supporters across the street.
That didn't happen either. I was on live, bro. They did not say all Diddy supporters go across the street. This girl is lying. I was on live the whole time. There was not so much chaos, whatever she said. She said there was so much chaos that they had to shut the court down and put everybody across the street. No, before we even went down there, they already said the court building was getting shut down.
It was something myself, the news media, mainstream media, new media have never seen in their lives. The level, and again, the jurors.
Wix. One platform, any website. Unlimited creation. Describe your...
1 second.
I hope that...
Shout out to Measure Man for the super chat. He said, remember how many people behind bars innocent, so that is why we force change the right, the force charge, the right charge. The rights you strip from him today could be the freedom you need tomorrow. Ooh, and y'all, I met Measure Man from the Michelle Loud case. He was in the chat, y'all, and really just giving some info. And kudos to you for continuing to stand in that fight. He is about justice being served, and I really appreciate that. And thank you for being a supporter for tonight's live.
God, they know how to sleep at night.
She has said the jury was ignorant. She said out of her own mouth, and tell me if I'm lying, y'all.
And we all heard that part. Yes, she did.
Did she not say the jury acted ignorantly? This is what she said. The jury was ignorant. They acted ignorantly because they came up with that verdict. She said the jury was ignorant because they came up with that verdict. I said, yo, I did not even know she did all of this. Yeah, she did.
Thank you, Sadiq. Well, come on back for the next stop. Okay, we're going to another stop after this one.
I wanted everybody to see this. See, I was in New York when this shit happened. I've been traveling and I was with family and stuff like that. So now that I'm back home, we got to address all this bullshit. I'm not allowing no one to play with my name. You might not like me, but you're not going to lie on me. It's cool to not like me. You can run whatever narrative you want about me. I heard the little shit, the slick shit you're saying is cool. Just know I ain't never lost on this motherfucker. And we just getting started. We just getting started. You better ask people that have went to war with me. This shit can go on for years. Let's go.
Because again, I'm sure they did their duty. But when all that chaos was happening, as I was being threatened and ushered out by armed security people.
She said she was threatened and escorted out by armed security. Nika at Night said she rushed up. Hold on. They said Nika at Night said she rushed up on you in the elevator, that she even basically pushed her out of the way to get to you. Yeah, that did happen. I told y'all that. She provoked me on the elevator. I wasn't even, she came to me on the elevator. She was so close to me. She was breathing down my damn neck. Like she got so close to me. And I was like, are you good? And she was like, what'd you say? What was that you said about me? What'd you say? What'd you say? Yeah, you had a lot to say. What's up now? I was like, I said what I said and I stand on it. You're a liar. And that's exactly what I never yelled. I was talking to her. Ask anyone who was there. Sean Gundy was there. Uda was there. Everybody was there at that elevator. And what was it? Conversations with Jay was there. Armand Wiggins was there. Nika at Night was there. Everybody was there. So they can't say, no one will come out and say I'm lying about this. I never yelled. I never said nothing. I just said, I stand on what I said. You're a liar. And she was like, what did I lie about? I said, well, you doxed them witnesses. You lied about that. And I started name dropping some of the lies she told. And then she was like, I never said that. I said, yes, the fuck you did. What are you talking about? You definitely said that. And she was like, well, it sounds like you're just a super fan that watches all my stuff. Yeah, you're just a fan, huh? I was like, nah, not really. I was like, a lot of this shit gets sent to me, but I'm just saying, bro, like you definitely lied. And she was like, well, you're the help. You're the help. You're just a janitor. Is that why you're mad? Because you don't make the money I make? Is that why you're mad? You mad about the money I'm making, huh? It's all about the money. Yeah, I got more money than I was like, girl, I'm not arguing with you about no damn money. And then she just kept throwing like little slugs at me. And I just said, I ain't even gonna go there with you. I got on the elevator and said, but if you want to have the conversation, we can have it downstairs. And she said, I'm going upstairs, and walked off. And ask anyone if I'm lying about that. Ask anyone. Ask Conversations with Jay, ask Armand Wiggins, ask Nika at Night, ask Sean Gundy, ask anyone who was there who witnessed that. I never got loud with her on that elevator. So everyone who says I was being disrespectful when we got in private, I never said nothing disrespectful to her there. I didn't say nothing derogatory to her. I just said, you're a liar. And I said, I'm not going to have this conversation with you off camera. If you want to have a conversation, we can have it downstairs. And she said, I'm going upstairs, and walked off. That's exactly what happened, bro. I'm glad you said that. Nika at Night said that. Salute to Nika at Night.
Okay, so that part just shows y'all that there had been a conversation. Okay, taken out of context, it made it look like this was just something he randomly walked up to her and started asking. But it appears as though inside it was a different scene and it happened a different way than what happened outside. And hey, now this part, I told y'all this we on the outside looking in on this thing. This is what I feel. It's just my opinion and my imagination. I feel like because of how that transpired inside, I think they felt they were gonna get their little lick back outside. Okay, and it caught her off guard. Now I'm not saying that it was right in that matter, but I do think that that's kind of how that part came about. But it just looked like one isolated event during that time. But y'all, this had been taking place even inside. But we didn't hear about any of this until later on. The other incident. Imagine the court having to release an entire statement based on the reporting of this trial. Right. I'm not saying he's lying, but men are arguing with women will never be my thing. Okay. Thank you, Dreaming Girl. TISA will never admit when she is wrong. Clocked it a long time ago. Even when there's video evidence, she will gaslight you to death. I am not joking. I have seen it with my own eyes. Wow.
I thought, this is is what the jury did. They sent a signal that it is okay to use violence. It's okay to drug people up. It's okay to live a life of debauchery. It's okay to do whatever you want. Because guess what?
She said, live a life of debauchery.
If you work hard enough and you have enough money and enough delusional fans and you have ingrained yourself in culture enough that you can do whatever you want. And 12 of your peers will look the other way.
Right.
They said Uncle Sam said she approached me first. I'm telling everybody she came to me. She was very rude and asked anyone the stuff she was saying to me. She called me a janitor. She called me the help. She said I was nothing. She said that she had more money. And it's all about her money. She making all this money. But see, she wasn't talking like that on live because she didn't want people to know who she really is.
Well, she did let it slip out, okay? When she said, these broke are mad. Okay, now I can kind of see that now, based off of what he's saying right here, because she did say that on her own live. Okay, these broke are mad. So yeah, the broke part, something had been said about some money somewhere. Okay, why is she always yelling? Well, I looked up some of the details about TISA Tells, and she has a theatric background as well. And I said, well, that's probably why she tells her, when she speaks like that, and her content is like dramatics and big, and things like that. Like if we look into people's kind of background, I'm not saying I looked into her background, I'm just saying how you can go on Google and look up some things about, the content creator and of her stature. She has done some things, brand deals, and all of that. And so I was just interested in that. And that just kind of gives you like a little background and context to who she is and why she does things a certain way. They took her real estate license because she lied. Allegedly measured me. Yeah, it did say she is. She's engaged in real estate on there as well, and I was shocked by that. But she has to. I mean, not shocked in a bad way. I didn't know that about her, but she has the personality to me to sell homes too. People are always hyped. Trust me, I know.
She didn't want people to know the evil little witch that she is, and all the stuff that she was really being her real self when that camera came off. That's the nasty ass person that she really is. She would never get on. Oh my god, like she get online and do all that shit, but then like she's a evil ass motherfucker when them cameras come off. But she didn't want people to see that side of her. They said lovely Tia Monique was laughing at her when Ratchet confronted her. Exactly, because like I said, I ain't gonna say they said this or not, but all I'm gonna say is every content creator felt the same way. I mean, I don't really care what anybody would say. They said TISA targeted you. If y'all really know, all I did was just ask her why she lied about certain things in the case. That's it. I was not being disrespectful to her. Maybe you could say I was being disrespectful because she was on live, but hey, I just felt that's the time to do it. Fuck it. I wanted to do it. So it is what it is. I still stand on what I did. I did not attack that woman. It was not me trying to be violent with her or any of the things. All it was I wanted the truth right there. Why did you lie? That's it. But the thing she was saying about me, now that was slander. The things that she said to me was slander. I never slandered her name. I just asked you why'd you lie, and I told you you're a fed based on this, based on these actions that I've seen with my own eyes, and I'm not the only person, but everybody else here seems to believe the exact same thing. So I'm not crazy, and I'm not targeting you because your favorite content creator right now. So you're talking shit about me. And this is no knock to Armand Wiggins. This is no knock to Lovely T. This is no knock to Neek at Night. I'm not saying nothing negative about them people. So when they go back and try to spin what I'm about to say, don't go back and try to lie out there and say I'm talking shit about these people. I'm just saying if it was really as bad as y'all are making it out to be, then why are y'all not mad at any of them for filming it and not doing nothing about it?
But you know what, y'all? That is a good point. Because even one lady in Gerald's live, when he was saying oh no, that was when Ratchet, my bad. When Ratchet came back and he had said what he did, And I don't know who that was that he was talking to the side. She said, "Oh my God, Ratchet, no, you didn't go over there and say that to TISA." Because I just feel, in my opinion, that they know she has a strong base, and you have to watch kind of how you handle her, okay? And it makes him look like the bad guy, but allegedly he's saying the others felt the same way. But he was the one that was the loudest and did it in that particular manner that drew a lot of attention and negative attention as well. Now, if there was like a certain type of live and everybody got on there in the panel and everyone was kind of speaking, their opinions about drama at the trial and had a real conversation, it may have been received in a different way. But because of how it came out, he took a hit. Gerald took a hit. Okay, because they were the verbal ones that went out there and said it. But according to him, others were feeling the same way. And they will say it from their own mouth. I'm not sure, but I feel it's less offensive. Okay, got you. This man is straight up hate. He needs to learn some respect. This girl needs to be quiet too. Who, Tori? Let's see. She tried to copy Armand's clapbacks of calling people brokies, cowboy boots lady, and failed. She needs to get her own personality. Okay. If you would like to become an open book member, Dreamy Girl has shared that link into the chat. You are already family, but why not become a member? All right, y'all. So that was Ratchet TV. We had placed his link inside of the chat if you want to go and watch that video in its entirety. Okay. Now, like I said earlier, and her name came up even in these snippets, was Leak at Night. And I was excited for the simple fact that a woman that was there was speaking up about this. Now, I must say, I had started following Nick at Night during the trial. Okay, I love her profession, her level of professionalism. She's very down to earth to me, and I love the way that she delivered her content. Okay, and so I started following her. And so when she decided to speak up about some things that happened, I said, "Oh, let's tune in to see what she has to say." Because at first we heard a lot of male voices, right? So I wanted to see what would be the difference if a woman that was there was speaking up and sharing her side and perspective of what was happening. So we're going to watch this first clip, and this was some things that Neek shared regarding an elevator scene.
The key again, people are mad at him because of what he got going on with TISA. They grown. She read him for filth in the damn courthouse. Okay, people was mad at me like, "Oh well, why didn't you get into it with why didn't you defend
Right,
TISA when she was going at it with Ratchet?"
Oh, hold up. We can't just do it like that. Okay, we're still on the train. All aboard the TISA Tales train. We are going to head on over to stop number 3. Okay. Make sure we don't leave anybody. Hop on here. Lucky lady, we got one more stop after this one. We got to get back. Okay. Yes, after this one, we're going to have one more stop, and we're going to want to hear that one as well. Okay. Hi, Trouble Knot. Thank you for joining.
Was the key again, people are mad at him because of what he got going on with TISA. They grown. She read him for filth in the damn courthouse. Okay, people was mad at me like, "Oh well, why didn't you get into it with why didn't you defend TISA when she was going at it with Ratchet?" And my whole thing is, if y'all would have been in that courthouse and y'all seen how she went toe to toe with him up in the courthouse, you would see why she don't need nobody to jump in her beef, because she handled it. He got her outside and was saying whatever he was saying. Do I think that he was actually going to put his hands on her? No, I don't think that. But you know, he got her outside, she got him inside. You know, now people was mad at me too, where they was like, I mentioned how TISA had breezed through. I mentioned how TISA had breezed through to confront him. People was like, how can you mention TISA breezing through you to get to him when she had you on her live? Now, I didn't take it personal.
So I wanted y'all to hear this from Nika Knight's perspective and her view. She said that they both, it wasn't just him, she got with him in the building as well. TISA did. Okay. So she said she saw TISA handle herself there. And TISA's even going to tell y'all that she can handle herself. So that's another reason why she just kind of stepped back. And so she's kind of describing that elevator scene. Okay. Hi, empowered woman. If what he says was true, he made himself look emotionally unbalanced. He was out of control and made himself look immature and ignorant. Okay. Okay, Nick, I'm liking what I hear so far. Right.
Because I thought it was funny, again, that she went to go approach him, but the way that she forcefully barged through, it was a particular type of way. Like, I'm not supposed to feel some type of way because, you know, somebody had me on a channel. Like, she barged through, she went through, but once I realized that energy wasn't for me, that it was for him, she, you know, she went toe to toe. I didn't feel no type of way, but in the moment when she immediately barged through, I was like, wait, hold on. Wait, what's that? What's this? Me mentioning that on my page, people was like, oh, how could you say that because she had you on her thing? So because somebody have you on their page, they can't almost bump into you and you feel like, wait a minute, hold on. You know?
And that's what I'm saying, y'all. That goes back to the not holding people accountable when we like them. Now, let's say TISA did not mean to do that, okay? But Neek felt a certain type of way, like, "Ooh, hold up. You know, you brushing past me a little too fast," kind of, you know, she didn't know if it was for her. So would it have been wrong for her to say, "Oh, I'm sorry," you know, because she felt a way, to stop in the moment and say, "Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, I didn't know that I brushed you," or, you know, something like that. I think that was the part she was trying to highlight. Like, hey, okay, but I thought she was coming over at me like that. Okay, but she recognized she was going to talk to someone else. So just that in itself could seem a little rude. Okay, if we're being honest, like, what's wrong with saying excuse me? Okay, so that was her view of how she felt. We have to acknowledge how people are feeling. Okay, and then move on from there. Do I need to apologize? How can I fix this? Not just saying this person is right. No, they did not do that. No, they don't be doing nothing wrong. No, they never lie. Then what's wrong with you? Okay, have you taken this social media thing too seriously? Okay, so that's something I would think about in that. It's best not to take their bait. Right. And I agree with that, Lisa. Daryl, please don't. Okay, oh, yes, please don't put people's real names in the chat, y'all. Okay. I was like, what happened?
And then you realize, oh, okay, she
Hi,
going at that
Brittany.
person. Child, I don't idolize any of my colleagues. You know, I don't idolize anybody. I felt like that was funny. Okay, I felt like it was funny, and once I realized, I'm like, oh wait, hold on. You know what I mean? Like, hold on, wait, what's happening here? Then she went and went up to him and was going off and woody whoop, and I got more subscribers than you, and you broke niggas. Is you a janitor, calling him a janitor, saying, you know, basically, hey May, like, you know, calling him. She didn't say he was a peasant, but shit, she damn sure almost did, you know, like you.
Now, he said that and Neek is saying that. Okay. Now there's two people. Brittany, she was talking about TISA during this particular moment. So that was two people about the broke part. And we did hear the broke part even when she was on live. So the money thing is definitely something that I guess is a part of her, I don't know, was on her mind in comparison with him. Janitors catching strays, right? Okay. Bromelina said, right. I'm assuming Ratchet TV is not a government name either. No need to dox anybody. Right, right. Nick and Knight. Yes.
You niggas is broke, and she was saying all kind of stuff. I was like, oh wait, this TISA? What's that? You know, but it was a lot going on up there. I feel like shit. Like again, now that everybody done got it out, everybody done said,
Okay, so that was one snippet that I wanted to show from Nika Knight. Measurement said, she said people need to stay in their lane. It's like buying a house and not being able to afford a gardener, right? Okay, I'm telling you. So she was saying the same thing, y'all. Okay, that he was basically saying about what was being said at that elevator scene. And I don't know. And by hearing kind of what was said when it escalated downstairs, it seems as though that part did happen. Hey, no more drama. Welcome. All right, let's go to the second snippet.
going to feel a way. They're going to get mad. It is what it is, what it is, what it is. All right. I have witnessed, and it is some of you guys' faves, no matter who side is on, people have been taking shots at one another. There has been underhanded stuff that has gone on with the line, and I spoke to y'all a little bit about the line, and there has been rivalries that have been igniting there inside that courtroom. All right? And then I've seen people will poke the bear, throw shots, and then all of a sudden, when somebody reacts, it's a whole different narrative, okay? My thing is this. This is not the only case that we will all come to and be at. This is not the only time that if you enjoy watching commentary of trials, these trials are not exclusive to any blogger. We're going to have to be in the same spaces again. And for me, I just feel like if the intention was to cover the Diddy trial, then I feel like that's what we should do going forward. F who views is this way. This person liking this particular stance or stating this particular fact. If you go and do what you're supposed to do as a content creator, then that's all that matters. Now, again, I will see people poke the bear, and then when people react, it's a different narrative.
Wow. I have seen that too. Okay. So, yeah. Do we hold people accountable if they're poking the bear and then there's a reaction? Okay. And that's just in life, period. And so it seems as though she said that twice, that someone was poking the bear and the bear snapped back. Little shady things, y'all. It probably was a lot. Because what I also noticed was there were a lot of media there, content creators there, bloggers there. And I think we were joking on one of the lives where we said, man, welcome yours truly. We were saying, man, you gotta be tough. You know, when to be a reporter, you gotta be on it. You gotta be able to just be a little aggressive at some points, because it's almost like a doggy dog world where, you know, you're trying to get the story first. You're trying to get the interview first. You're trying to get the most views. You're trying to put it out there first. And it's like a race, okay, to a certain degree, and competition. So you have all of that on display with all of the media at this huge trial. So you already know you're bringing some of that. Then, if people had beef prior to being in the same place, then imagine that takes to another level as well. Oh, now I get to see them in person. And I remember what they did back then. Okay. And so That's just something to think about as well. And I'm glad that she mentioned that. Thank you, Lucky Lady. I appreciate that. Right. I've seen people throw rocks and hide their hands. They act one way in front of other people, but behind closed doors or behind the scenes, they are doing something totally different. And I have even had a boss like that, y'all. She was, oh my God, so fake. That's why I see right through fake people. I do. God has given me that spirit of discernment. I just can't even be fake. I can't stand to be around it. And she was acting one way in front of people, but then behind closed doors, she was doing all this shady stuff, sending emails, trying to ruin people's reputations, trying to do all this dirt. And then when people saw her, oh, they had nothing but good words because they had not encountered that side. What happens when you encounter a side of a person that you never knew existed? Okay, because we all, as much as I am, I'm God fearing, I love God, worship, praise, all of that. Guess what? There is another side. Stop. That I try to keep up under the blood. Okay, there is another side that will pop off and go off if needed. Okay, so we all have another side, okay, that we don't want to come out, especially in a professional setting. You will try to keep that as clean as possible. Yes, Brittany, it's like a competition. Measure Man said, is she still interviewing Kanye West? She said he told her at the trial he would sit down with her. Kanye, wait, what? Baby, Kanye, I heard, came in, had a seat in the overflow, I think in the back, talked to some of the family and got up out of there. We want to see that. Okay, yes, YouTube Game of Thrones. Exactly. That's what it seems like it is. And you have to be ready for the game. Okay, if you're going to step onto some territory like that, you better go after it because it is going to be some things that I'm going to share when we get to our last stop that I even peep. It's first come. You got to go. You got to be ready to move. And no one called her out for that lie. Yeah, where's Kanye? She's probably lying about that. I really don't know about the Kanye thing because I mean, I was on other outlets as well that were there, like Legacy Media, that was sharing updates, and they described what happened with Kanye, and it didn't say anything about him talking to any reporters trying to get interviewed. They pretty much stated that he came in, walked to the overflow, kind of talked to Diddy's sons, had a seat. He stayed there for about, I think, 30, 45 minutes, and then he left out. So, yeah. Yours truly said she didn't recall her saying that. Hi, Cancer Girl. She didn't say that about Kanye. Okay, because I was like, well, where's Kanye? Because I haven't seen that interview, and I don't think he was there to try to set up interviews. Okay.
If you do not want people coming up to you, saying anything to you sideways, stick to the case. Now, this is for everybody. I've seen so many people.
Michelle. Thank you for sharing.
Okay. And now everything is blown up out of proportion. This person is a victim. Oh my God, poor this person, poor that person. No, everybody just stay in their goddamn lane and do what they came to do.
Nick was not playing. Okay. She said, no, everyone stay. Mind your own channel, your own business, okay? And just leave everybody alone. Right. A hot mess. Now we got, yes, she did. No, she did. Yes, she did. Lord, what live was it? Y'all have me tickled about the Kanye thing. Well, look, if she said it, look at here. We better see some Kanye on there for an interview. Oh my goodness, y'all are hilarious. Okay, y'all. We are headed to our final stop on tonight. Make sure you hop aboard. If you would like to give a complimentary donation, you're welcome to send a super chat or super sticker or a cash app, and that is scrolling on the screen. Kanye probably said that because she's pretty. He hasn't listened to her. Once he does, he will he will backtrack. Sister X said, you can't tell a person how to fight. Even professionals have a breaking point. And you know what? You are right about that. Okay? You are right about that. All right. All aboard. We're heading to our last stop of the night. All right. So, our last stop of the night, we are going to watch a couple of snippets from the TISA Tales Live on yesterday, okay, where she explained some of these issues, okay, that were coming about with the line, okay, because y'all, it did seem like a lot was taking place at the line every morning, which, hey, you're not a morning person, you're in New York, that will be a place of frustration, okay. Then we had the list of where everybody's sitting at. That was another little issue. And then this elevator scene. Okay. So it seems like some of this is a background of why this thing started spiraling out of control. Okay. So let's pull up now to TISA Tales. No, I don't know
or intimidating critics, baby, the judge can absolutely treat that as a sign.
It's the wrong one. Hold on one second. That wasn't the one. Okay, no more drama. No, I don't know who that is. Thank you for your patience. I had everything pulled up, but we could just go. Okay, here it is. Welcome, everyone. Thank y'all for joining. Make sure you hit the like button as you come on in.
That they keep talking about this whole line thing. All right, let's talk about the lines, because apparently I work for the SDNY and I'm a federal informant because I cut a line. Now, first of all, let me just say, TISA don't cut no line. See, I'm like 80%, actually 100% of the haters, right? And this isn't for all the YouTubers, because when first of all, y'all saw me every day going live, in line, and outside of court. Every day. I realize that people that came late to think, but first of all, it's objectively a lie. But let's just do this, right? There were YouTubers and content creators and media, obviously media, like myself, who were there the first day of the actual trial. I did not come during the jury selection. I showed up the first day of the trial, May 12th. Okay, I'm giving y'all some tea about what really happened.
If you need $950, $2,300, up to $5,000, just go to.
So when you showed up to the trial, you had two options. You could either get a line sitter or you could wait in line. Everybody either got a line sitter or waiting in line. I, along with other media, reporters, journalists, we were waiting in line together. How do y'all know? Go back to my lives. Y'all saw me going live in line. You saw me with my place. Two options, line sitter or wait in line, okay? Most of the media had line sitters. Some people from the public had line sitters too. There's nothing wrong with having a line sitter. People, you pay good money to those line sitters, anywhere between $300 and $500 a day, to come out at 5 o'clock the night before and sit in your place. This is something that everybody knew. This is something that is legal, and this is something that goes on in the Southern District of New York. And this is something that a lot of these haters late to the party didn't realize, because they weren't even there from the beginning, and they came at the end.
Now, I do wish during this live, I wish TISA would have clarified who haters were, okay? Because when we're on the outside looking in and don't really know the inner workings of what took place behind the scenes, it would have helped us kind of put the pieces together. So just put a name on it, okay? Because they did. Okay, because at this point, sometimes some people, when they have the big platforms, they're not going to put a name on it. They don't want their people going down or going to, okay, other channels, getting a different perspective on what happened. They want you to listen just to what they had to say about it. Okay. Let's see. She got everyone talking about her. That's just crazy. She looked crashed out. She actually is on vacation with her family. Okay. Or who sources are. She always just have sources. Yeah, and I mean, I kind of get not revealing sources sometimes. Even Larry Reed has said that. If you sending him stuff, he's not gonna put you on blast on who his sources are. So I get that, but in this context, we need to know who the haters are. We put some names on it so we can have more clarity. Okay, well, if this is the price of fame and getting you too famous, I don't want it. It's stressful. Exactly. The one who was mad because they didn't get in. Okay, not the one who's mad because they didn't get in. She has no makeup on, but she looks just fine. Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't need makeup. She crashed out so bad in this video. People were saying, "Are you okay?" She was on 100. It could have been that soda or what she was drinking. It could have. I'm telling you, I had to leave her a comment because, like I said, I support these content creators. Okay, so hey, we just reporting the things that have been put out there. Now, I did tell her one time after the Diddy trial, and she did the one without the super chats. I think she turned the super chats off. And I said, TISA, I think that this works for you better because I felt like she was able to focus more and go through what she was trying to say because it was distracting for me. I'm just being honest. When she would come and we were ready to hear what was going on, and it was like super chat. She would read some super chats. Then she was waving to people, fixing her hair, fixing her clothes, going back to what she was saying. It was a lot. And so, yeah, sometimes you just want to give constructive feedback. I let people tell me, okay, try this, and all of that. Sometimes if it's a distraction, I don't want to be a distraction. She threw herself against the wall and pulled her hair. You silly. Black YouTube has gotten so toxic. I believe these beefs all start over jealousy, pure evil. Yes, and jealousy can be a factor, but I won't say jealousy is the only factor because that is what we keep hearing a lot of. People are just hating. People are just jealous. No, everyone is not. That's what you sometimes put into your mind to excuse behavior. But does that necessarily mean that people are hating because they calling you out, holding you accountable for something, or saying they didn't like something? Like, that's their opinion. Okay. And so we can't just say everyone's opinion against what you're doing or said or did or is because they're hating and jealous. I can't do that. Okay. If someone has a problem with it, it could be for other reasons as well. Just do better. Move on, or grow from it. TISA laughing to the bank while y'all all talk. And it's no problem. Of course, I'm happy for her. So it's no hating. Definitely here. Complete a thought. Right. Not the paper bag. She was spiraling last night making her own sound effects. Sound effects. I didn't hear that part. Okay, I don't like getting up in the morning. Right. She said yesterday that video it does have almost 200K. It does. You have to self-examine and take accountability, right? Hey, Jazzy J is in the building. Thank you so much for joining, sis.
I'm not talking about the people at the end of the line, and I'm not trying to shade anybody at the end of the line, but you were at the end of the line. That means that you either didn't get a line sitter or you woke up late and you came to the courthouse around 7:30 or 8 and you found yourself at the end of a line that was 50, 60, 80 people deep. If you were at the end of the line, can you really even comment on what happened at the front of the line? Anyway, right? Listen.
Oops,
now, here's the thing. That is why I am laughing, because half of these content creators that aren't haters and were there from the beginning, they knew too. They either waited in line or they got line sitters, okay? All the media either waited in line or they got line sitters, okay? And this is why I was laughing, because Everybody knew this. This wasn't a secret. This is the way the Southern District of New York works when people are lining up. They have a line for the press and they have a line for the public. New media, which I'm counted because I am media, and a bunch of other new media, we waited in the public because the press line, you have to have press credentials. Press credentials is like literally like this, right? This is press credentials, but all jokes aside, it's like a laminated thing. It has your name, it has the outlet you're working for, and it has and it says press all around it, and it has your face, your name, and the outlet. A lot of people, and I'm not going to put them on blast because it's none of my business, that were claiming to be press and are on Twitter and stuff claiming to be press. You're mad because when you get your press credentials, just like with new media, I had to submit a thing. I'm getting ahead of myself. You submit your credentials. They look at it to see if you're actually telling the truth. And if you're telling the truth, you get a press pass or you get a new media thing, right? A lot of people that say they're press, when it came down to it, a certain YouTuber had more.
The good news is, it doesn't have to be. Go Auto helps you save more money on car insurance.
Yes, pretty much. Love and happiness. So if you can't really, and I'm gonna say afford it, some people just chose not to do it, get the line sitter, then you would move to the back. Now, Nick at Night, y'all, she had another live or two where she went into details about that, but I'm not showing that because it's a members only live. But she went more into detail about that line situation, that there was more to it because it looked like at one point, people, you know how like when you're at the movie in line and someone cuts you and you're like, okay. Like they got away with it. But then they bring 5 more family members, okay? Then they telling their friend, hey, come on. You gonna start getting upset because look, I let one of y'all cut, but how all of y'all cutting the line, okay? So that can be an issue with this line. So it seems as though the line thing was a whole issue because it carried into where you sat inside of the courtroom. And of course, people probably want to be in the actual courtroom and not the overflow room. But me personally, it wouldn't have mattered to me. Hey, if I'm in the overflow room, it's probably a little better anyways, because they're gonna really, really watch every little thing you're doing in the courtroom and all of that stuff. It's like a different thing when you're actually in the courtroom. Someone broke that line issue down like a surgeon. She debunked this story that TISA is saying now. It was probably Nick at Night, because I know that she did. Now, she had her live public if you were on there live, but then later on it is on members only. I don't think this is going to end well for a lot of channels. Woo! People with ADHD are hyped naturally. If people don't like the way she expresses herself, they can move on. People seem to just not like her and they should just move around and not watch her channel. Ticket TV even said if no one is forced to watch her, so that's what seems strange. I agree, but let's agree that all of this is over someone else's opinion, so it's a bit hypocritical, right? Mills broke it down. Was not hard to see how things were going down. TISA is presidential press. Everybody else's press. Let TISA tell it. Okay. Let me write this name down because I'm definitely going to look into that breakdown. Okay. Because y'all said that breakdown was good too. Okay. Thank y'all for sharing.
Credentials to actually get a pass than these people saying they press. So they hating on that also. But let me tell y'all what happened, right? So, hold on. Am I skipping over thing? Okay. So let me tell you what happened. So everybody's waiting in line. About 3.5, 4 weeks in the trial. A bunch of Diddy supporters, they said they were Diddy supporters, and they were screaming, started causing trouble in the line. They were threatening people. They were swinging chairs. They were swinging 4x4s. The police got called a couple of times, right? The U.S.
Now, wait a minute. Who down there clowning with the... Who throwing chairs and 4x4s at the Diddy trial? Now, what didn't capture any of that? Now, I did see this baby oil stuff, but I didn't see the chairs swing. Who was clowning like that? Oh my goodness. Let's see. YouTube changing terms of service. Okay, the scorecard is on IG as a sneak. Some channels won't make it. Ooh. I didn't see that. I was like, maybe it's some other clips. Because okay, look, we all might need an intervention. We've been on this train ride. Oh my God. I'm just saying, I did not see that part, y'all. And if I missed something, y'all let me know. Because I did not see chairs or even hear it with the main media. You know, because it seems like with something like that, they would have said, oh my gosh, there was so much taking place inside of the courtroom. There were chairs or outside, even if it was outside, people throwing chairs 4x4s. Okay, so I'm just wondering what happened with that part. I don't know what happened with that part. Oh my goodness. I just thought I missed something. Outside. Okay. Yeah, outside. Okay. Probably the MTA lady. No way. We did see that lady with the baby oil. Okay, she was going crazy with them underwear. Then you had the other lady, I think Miss Candor, all out there getting on to everyone. The Free Puff supporters, were they out there with chairs swinging and stuff? Oh my goodness, I did not see any of that. She is really funny. That was funny. I'm not gonna lie to me, because I was cutting up laughing at some parts of this. Like, wait a second, what?
Marshals tried to ignore it. We're still waiting in line. There were also fights that started. So what happened is one of the legal analysis working with the U.S. Marshals or the U.S. Marshals that were outside. They were like, yo, there's all these fights starting. There's this and that. It wasn't over line spots. It was just people acting crazy. And they're like, it's not safe. Can the press put their name down on a list, like when you go and check in, right? Because in the main courtroom, there's a bunch of spots for press, but for public, there's only 14 spots, right? I'm giving y'all inside tea, right? So anyway, they were like, yo, we're going to start a list so people don't have to stand in line and risk having to fight these Diddy supporters. This is like 6:30 in the morning, you guys. And you know I was out there because 7:30. I would go live around 7:30 because I didn't think y'all was up at 6:30. But, so anyway, they started creating a list. The list was for the people, the order of people in the line outside. So when you came up, whether you switch places, the line sitter would wait in line for you. And then when you would come, the line sitter would switch with you, right? So whether the line sitter switched with you or not, when they made that list, if you weren't there but your line sitter was, they wouldn't put your name on the list. So what happens is they would make a list. This is outside on a public sidewalk. They would make a list and be like, okay, Darla, you were first. Stephanie, you were second. Tanya, you were third. Terry, you were fourth. Brian, you were fifth. Like they would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Bernarda, you were sixth. They would do 1, 2 because there were.
See, this here would give me anxiety. Okay, if we had to do this every day of this Diddy's trial, and I think Nika at Night even brought that up. She said, "Child, they could have that." I stopped getting there for the line. This line set it off. Okay, it was a lot of chaos in trying to get into the line. And she also stated, Nick stated that if anything, the court needs to pay attention to how they handle that line situation, because it appears as though, it was some favoritism and things like that being shown in that line. Hey, that's allegedly, I don't know. Caught from watching the lives behind the scenes. Okay, I'm going to say, okay, thank you, Measured Man. It was definitely pure chaos outside the court. Yeah, you can see it was chaos. I just didn't see, like, I guess they didn't capture like the fights and chairs throwing and things like that. I didn't see that part.
For a lot of people that be there. What was the purpose of that? So people didn't have to wait in line with the Diddy loonies and the police didn't have to get called again. So what happened is they would let you go and kind of move out of the line so you didn't have to wait there, okay? And this is for the main courtroom only, and it was a reward, not even a reward, a courtesy for the people that were there every morning braving it. So they would make a public list and they would make a list. The U.S. Marshals, and you were allowed to kind of like, not go off, but you stayed close, but you didn't have to stay in line because those Diddy supporters were going crazy in line, right? I was always 1 through 7 of the public list because I either always had a line sitter or I was there early because I was doing what everybody else was, which was 100% fair and just, okay? Here's the thing. They didn't just take your word for it. They would literally look and be like, were you here doing this? Blah, 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 blah. You would have to prove that you were. And the people around you would have to vouch what your number was. So that was in the public. Then we would have to go through security. Then we would line up again in the hallway on the first floor because they let us in with the courthouse, but they wouldn't let us up to the 26th floor. That's the main courthouse.
Wow.
Overflow was a different subject. The people that didn't get into the first 14 slots for public, they had to go to overflow. And the press, I believe, had like the press had like 30 spots, right? Or 28 spots. They had basically double what the public had. Anyway, you had to, once you got on that list on the line, you had to go through security, then you had to line up on the first floor again. Once you lined up on the first floor, then you went upstairs, okay? Now, at this point, there was no list for the courtroom upstairs. That's just how it was. There were a lot of fights starting. The Diddy supporters would have people would be in line and be like, I don't feel safe. Can I come back? So how did the upstairs list happen? Because there was a list for upstairs. But let me tell you something, right? That downstairs line sitter list, this is what I mean about half these sorry, mommy, half these haters on YouTube.
Okay, now notice that little other side was about to come out. Okay, and once again, it's the haters and the Diddy supporters. So, in my opinion, I just really wish she would have told us who she was referring to, because this can also cause further confusion. Okay, because we don't really know which one of the people that were there, because everyone there is not Diddy supporters. Okay, some of the line sitters were actually homeless and some were addicts. And you know what, even with that, baby, they could have been telling multiple people, I hold your spot. Okay, especially if they had to, I don't know if they had to pay when they got there or paid ahead. Okay, so you have to be careful with stuff like that as well. Have they arrested the people who TISA said were trying to unalive her yet? I don't think a report has been made. I haven't heard of a report being made. She talks too much and too fast, signs of a liar. I mean, I think she has admitted that she has the ADHD, and that, that's from her mouth. That could have an effect on how fast and how, she's just like very animated. So it could be one of the reasons. Let's see.
YouTube, they knew that. All the haters on YouTube knew that. All of them. Now, listen.
Okay, so that was one part about this line. Okay, so then she started talking about the list of being inside of the courtroom.
When that woman got dragged out, that's when the court said enough. These Diddy supporters are out of
There we
control.
go.
They are
Diddy supporters,
unhinged,
y'all
they are
clowning.
violent, and they disrupt the court. And we can't have that.
Right, Mary.
Looking back, it was very prolific. It was very prolific, right? They're like, we can't have that. So what did they do? They said, we need to control who's coming into the courtroom. And we need to make sure that they are vetted people that aren't crazy. So first they started with the media, and they made a list of all the media people that were there. So from now on, no matter what time you got there, right? This was about 2 weeks before the verdict. No matter what time the media got there, and there was a lot of media. A lot of media was in the overflow room. Sunny Houston was there. What's that one girl? What's her one girl? Chloe Milas was there. Sunny Houston. There were a lot. Oh, I saw what's her name? Gloria Allred and Lisa Bloom. All of them were down there because if you didn't get there by a certain time, you had to be in the overflow room. However, for the main courtroom, they made a media list for the main courtroom, and all the reporters, all the journalists, your Twitter faves, and all the YouTube content creators knew about this. They all knew about this, and the public knew about this too. The public that went there every single day, okay? They made a media list. And, they had people from ABC, NBC, but they were people that had been in the courtroom since the beginning. Everybody saw the list being made. Everybody saw why the list was made. Everybody saw. Bet. Now, at this point, TISA was still having to wait in line, then go to the first floor, then go this, okay? But TISA is also an investigator. And TISA's an investigator, and TISA's going to find out. So I started asking everybody I knew, how do you get on the list? How do you get on the list? How do you get on the list? Can I go? I think I'm media. Girl, you ain't media. I think I'm media. I've been on ABC. I'm sorry, ABC. I've been on Nightline. I've been on Nancy Grace. I think I'm media. I got to roll. I don't write stuff, but I do daily vlogs. It's new media, right? I asked around. And if these haters had not spent all their time being in the damn courtyard, like it was high school, having a reunion of the bums and the losers, they could have simply asked around too. So right before the verdict, right, I actually found out who to email.
Now, the bums in the courtyard, that is shade right there. I'm gonna be honest. That's shade. And oh man, I'm and on one hand, I see why. Hold on, y'all, one second. Okay, on the one hand, I see how the attitude behind certain things could be taken, right? And also, on the other hand, we can't fault her for trying to get the inside information and to see how can I get in there? What do I have to do? Okay, because if anything, hey, let me see what TISA do. Let me try to get up in here and do what I need to do too to get some of these special privileges. So it can look like she had a lot of special privileges, but she just took, it looks like, I mean, from what she's saying, the extra initiative to get on a certain list, to get in there, and things of that sort. And so, but when you're saying stuff like y'all down there in the courtyard, like some bums on a high school courtyard and things, that comes across a certain way. Okay. And it's that type of stuff that probably did take place. If you really pay attention, y'all, she is showing some of the other side, even in this video, that some of the things that they were stating is not all false, okay, at all. We can see it with our own eyes, but some people, their eyes were not open. But you can see pieces of that other side come out even during this live. Let's see. Yours truly said, trust if NYC came to that trial would have been worse, not for the good either. Just saying, true New Yorkers are different. Okay. Not TISA who tells lies. Okay. Not bums and losers. She looked down on a lot of the people. And, I'm hearing that when we talk about these broke ninjas, these bums, it's letting you know kind of how she felt about some of those people. Okay, you have to listen to what people say out of their own mouths. She's a team of Wendy Williams. I'm not so she overdoes it. That's what Neek said. She would have taken those opportunities as well. Right. So we can't fault her for going the extra mile and, getting what she needs to get done to get a certain, advantage. If anything, let me hook up and see what's going on. What did you do to get that? Because I'm good at asking questions too. Oh, okay, how did you get in there? You don't have to be best friends, click up with the person and all of that. But hey, I would have been trying to find out too. That's just me as well. How do I get in there? I only speak from personal knowledge. This man have run so many right in his claim city. Uh-oh. Mm-mm-mm.
To ask how to get on the list. Okay. Now, I've been in there every single day. It wasn't just, oh, hey, can you? No, I had to show my credentials. What were the credentials? I had to show a reel of my YouTube that I thought represented it. I had to put a link on my YouTube, and I had to put links to all the interviews I had done on Burden of Proof, on Nightline, on Nancy Grace. So they saw what my work was and how it was. It was an application process. I did the application process. There was an approval. I'm not privy to what they used to get the approval, just like the 28 members of the press that got reserved seating for the verdict. I don't know why they picked them either, but they did. I didn't go up to ABC and be like, why'd you get this? What'd you do? Walking around with those short skirts, flirting with everybody. I wasn't an old bitter hater.
Hey, smart cookie.
Right? Mad because somebody looked good in the skirt. Right? I was an old bitter hater. I literally took the time to find out what the policy and procedure. And the funny thing is, it wasn't a secret. And the funny thing is, all these people lying and being haters, they knew what it was too. That's what I mean. They are gaming you. They want the clicks and views because they knew this too. Everybody knew about the media list, and everybody knew that you could apply for the media list. And everybody also knew, just like you could apply for a press pass. I didn't have time to get a press pass because I decided to go last minute. But to get on the media list, right? There was an application process. I filled out the application. I gave my reel. I gave my credentials. I gave my channel. I gave my reason why I think it was. And guess what?
Riley, you came in, you started that conversation back. We were still stuck on the Kanye West. Some people said she said it. Some people said she didn't say it. She said she was going to see. Okay. Oh my God.
They made spots for quote unquote new media. Now the gag is, I wasn't the only new media. That's what they call people where you're not with legacy media like ABC, NBC, Fox, TMZ. That's legacy media. They called new media if you were like a journalist, or if you were not with any big publication, but you were a journalist on Twitter. You're not with any big publication, but you're a reporter, right? On TikTok, on Instagram, or on YouTube. You're not with any official big conglomerate, but you have the credentials and a resume that you can stand behind, right? Anyway, all these haters, and this
nothing but haters. Look, I guess I'm new media. Okay. All right, TISA, thank you for breaking that down. I will be considered new media. Hey, Blueberry Boots, welcome. She really thinks she is smarter than black people. But isn't she? Y'all silly. Oh my goodness. Riley said, I wonder who her sources are. That's who she said she gets all her info from ahead of anyone else. Yeah, she has said that. And even when that Diddy, the video came out, I remember watching, and she knew when Diddy was pretty much going to release that video because she said, watch y'all, it is about to come out. And I kept watching and waiting. I think she was like maybe a day off from
It could cost you up to $8,000 to fix a transmission,
but I
or up to
was like, wow,
$10,000 to fix
she
your
does
engine,
know
or up to
some
$2,000.
inside
Side.
information. She does know that. Let's see here. Okay, she is a. You think she is? I mean, y'all can't say all of that with no evidence. Okay, her source is Gene. My goodness, smart cookie. Not Gene Deal. There you go. Oh, and she do have some connects. Yeah, I believe she does have connects. I do believe that. Queen Sheba had the new media badge as well, so she wasn't the only one. Yes, yeah. So she found out also. So I guess see that's what I'm saying. When we keep saying the haters, you have to be specific in that. Which haters are you referring to? Because we were just a little confused with that part as far as who she's talking about, because there are other people that had some of the similar privileges that did talk to some of the other people that were there, these other content creators. So that part was still confusing because we didn't know who the haters were. Um, okay. And then this last little part was in regards to this elevator scene. Now, Nick at Night brought it up. Ratchet TV, he brought it up as well on our other previous stop. So if you're just coming in, y'all, we've been on a train ride and this is our last stop of the night, but y'all make sure y'all watch the replay to hear what happened at the other stops. Okay.
There's 30 people from the press side. There's 14 people from, let's just say 15 people from the public side. We're split up into two sides, right? This is before there was a new media list. So it was just public, right? So then there's like people that work in the courtroom that came to see, they gave extra. So let's just say there's about, I don't know, 60 people in the hallway, give or take, because there's other people. And Diddy's family was there too, right? So this person that works for Diddy, I should have known something was up because that day they had 2 guards by them. And I should have known something was up, but whatever, right? You know me, I'm like, whatever. So I walk by, it's a wide hallway, and thank God people were looking. I walk by, I don't touch anyone, I don't bump anyone, it's a wide hallway. I walk by, and all of a sudden I hear Diddy's person be like, you need to lose some manners. You need to learn some manners. Next time you interrupt somebody's conversation, you need to learn to say, excuse me, and not be so rude. So you know me, I turn my head like, oh, drama, right? Thinking I'm going to give y'all the lowdown. Only when I turn my head like, what's going on? Did I realize
she said she was going to give us the loading. That was funny though. I'm telling you. She was thinking it was about to be a fight or something popped off, and then they were talking to her. Now, y'all, who do you think that was that would have said something like that? Because Nick spoke of a situation around the elevator, and then she's talking about it, but she's not telling a name. I'm just like, I don't see Nick at Night's personality like that she would be the one talking like that. Or is that how they really said it? You see what I'm saying? So that part, I don't know. The hater statement is a deflection from her own bad behavior. Yes, Mary, we talked about that. Sometimes that can happen. People will say things are hate and jealousy to deflect away from the accountability factor or what happened. You know what I'm saying? So if you continuously say Diddy supporters or haters, that is putting that into the minds of the people. So then when the people that don't have their own minds and really not trying to find anything out or see evidence or things like that, then they'll start using the same verbiage. Y'all just pay attention. I've seen this in various sectors. It happens like that. Okay. Let's see, Mims and Armand gave her flowers. They said she works. Yeah, and we can't take that away from her, y'all. She worked hard. During this Diddy trial, she worked hard. I remember one time I thought I was getting up early, getting on live, and someone said, because I would watch her lives, I didn't even realize she was already live And I said, wow, she usually doesn't even go live this early. But she was going live like multiple times, excuse me, every day, going downstairs, updating everyone in the rain. Like I said, shout out to all of the vloggers, YouTubers, everyone, news reporters who did this thing, boots on the ground every day. Like that takes a lot and a lot of your time, resources, and all of that. So shout out to all of them. But yeah, we did see her doing that throughout the whole day, doing that throughout the whole day.
Was talking to me. Now in my head, I'm sure in real life I was just like, because there'll be stuff going on in my head, and in real life I'm just looking with this look on my face, right? And in my head I'm like,
right, D.
What is she talking about? So I'm like, what? So I'm like, excuse me? I think I might even said, are you talking to me? Right? Because I forget about interrupting. I didn't even touch them. It was a wide hallway. I just walked by. It's like, you heard me. You need to learn some manners and say, excuse me. By this time, there are 60 people turned looking. There is press. There are bailiffs. Diddy's family's looking. But it looked like they had smirks. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? What the hell? What the helly? So I walk up, right? Never wanted to be punked. I walk up right to them. Because, that's another thing. There's a long distance between us. I walk up to them. And I was like, what, excuse me? And they were like, you interrupted. No, you need to say, excuse me. I said, excuse me for what? You interrupt our conversation. No, I didn't. Now, the other content creator was sitting there. At any time, they could have came in, but this is one of the content creators that was talking to Diddy's team a lot, right? They could have said, she didn't interrupt, she didn't bump up. She was like, you should have said, excuse me. And I was like, but I didn't bump you. You need to learn to say, excuse me, and sir. And I said, but I didn't bump you. Now, around the time, the two guys that were at her.
Now, the telling of this story sounds like some loud, ghetto stuff that was happening in a courthouse. Now, the way the volume and the way it's being told, it seems like somebody in the courthouse would have been like, excuse me, y'all need to lower your voice. Okay. Because I'm just thinking, like, who being loud like that in the courthouse? Okay. Ghetto. And who were the security guards? We really need to analyze how they ran a gigantic anti-Diddy propaganda campaign and Black people ate it up. Okay. I'm just saying, matches the energy from the outside. Courthouse popping neck. Cause see, they're popping the neck, the volume, the way it's said. Okay, because when Nick explained, her view was nothing like that. So we can see how people can have the same things happening around them or going on and can view it in two totally different ways, have different opinions of what happened, say it differently, and so forth. I want y'all to see this in real time. Oh my goodness.
Her side were coming forward, right? Now just hear me out. They were already by her, but they were closing in as if they expected me to jump on her or something. What do you think? I'm 12 years old. I am like, are you saying life is too good and I am too happy to ever raise a hand to someone just based off of an argument? Have you lost your mind? Like, how old are we? 12? And I can use my words. So I was like, but I didn't bump you. But I didn't bump into you. You need to say sorry. I said, but I didn't bump into you. So what am I saying sorry for? Right?
At Go Auto, we help you save more money on car insurance with no commission agents, no expensive add-ons, low.
Then she says, well, I saw you, still loud as shit. Well, I saw you, and I could tell you was thinking about interrupting. So next time you even think of interrupting, next time you even think of interrupting, you need to say, excuse me.
Yes, I love it.
And I said, but I didn't interrupt you. But I saw you thinking about it. I said, I don't need you to regulate me. I know how to self-regulate. So what are we doing here? Right? So then she was like, I told you you need to say, excuse me. That's when I laughed. And I said, is this a joke? And she said, is it? And I said, is this a joke? What is wrong with you? So then she was like, you were thinking about it. So then she was like, what did I say? One of us, I don't know who said it first. She might have said, no, when I said I can self-regulate myself, you don't have to tell me. I'm trying to think who said it first. One of us said, well, do we have is there a problem? Like, no, I said it. I was like, what is your problem? So then she was like, do we have a problem? And her two goons moved closer as if to threaten me, right? So that's the way I took it. So then I looked, she's coming right here on me. So I looked down at her and I was like, because I don't know why everybody think I'm 5'2". I am okay, I was about to say I'm 5'9". I am 5'8.5". I am 6 feet.
And she called them goons. So were they white or black? Okay, she got them the big goons. Okay, coming towards her. Like I told y'all, pay attention to the language, words used, because it gives you a visual. So I'm picturing these two big dudes, this ghetto girl, going tit for tat. Tit for tat. Okay. You up there talking about, oh my gosh. Now, TISA, did you really say it like that? Oh my gosh, I know so regular. I know you did not. That girl probably would have popped out even more.
Feet in heels. She's like right here on me, right? So I'm like, and so I was like, what is your, no, that's what it is. I said, what is your problem?
Exactly, Mary.
I was like, what is your problem? Because prior to that, the last time, and I'll tell you another conversation we have. Hold on a second. So the last time, so I was like, do we have a problem? Because the last time she talked to me, Riley, she was trying to be my friend. But that's what I mean about Diddy's team. They try to, in my opinion, bribe you. Then they try to be nice to you. Then they try that thug bully stuff to get you in line. Listen, don't let the sunny disposition fool you. I am my father's daughter. I get real stubborn when people try to bully me. Real stubborn. You are going to have to stomp my head into the concrete. And even then I'll be like, just wait. I am my dad's daughter and my mom and my mama's daughter. I get real stubborn when people try to bully me. I don't like being bullied. And people don't realize about me. If you come and ask me nicely.
Now, if that was Diddy's team, who he has on his team that's ghetto like that? Okay, that's what I'm trying to picture. Like, who was being that ghetto in a hallway by an elevator? That part.
Unless it's me like sacrificing my integrity or my morals. But outside of that, if you come and ask me something nicely, I'll most likely be like, yeah, okay, fine. It's not that serious. Right? If it's something that, if you just come and ask me nicely, I'll be like, I mean, it's not that serious. Okay, sure, no problem. But most people don't want to come and ask you with respect. Because they know if you ask for something from them with respect, they ain't gonna do anything. Like they're not gonna do it. They just want to be assholes, right? But I'm the type of person, if you come to me and ask me for respect and be like, hey, you know, this and that, I'm not saying you gotta humble yourself, but just be like, hey, do you mind? I'd be like, yeah, it's no problem, right? Unless it's my ethics or my morals or my integrity. Then I'm just like, F out of here, right? So anyway, she was like, do we have a problem? The goons moved up, like closed in, as if they expected me. So I looked at her and did the only thing I could do. Do we have a problem? Right? Do we have a problem? So then, like, by that time, like, it was a thing. I was like, do we have a problem? Do we? And then I just laughed, like, this is a joke, right? But don't try to punk me. And I don't care what goons you have on your side. Do we have a problem? Let me know right now, right? So then I realized, you know, I am still in a professional environment. I'm trying to be professional. This is not high school. You're not going to see me act out of character. The elevator banks opened right down the hall because I told you it's 12. And I sauntered to the elevator. F out of here. Sauntered to the thing. Now, the funny thing is, this is also the same day they were trying to get me kicked out of court by saying I doxed witnesses. Again, when I say these YouTube campaigns are diabolical, the same day that somehow all the people that met all the time with Diddy's people were saying on the same day at the same time, I had doxed.
Okay, now, with that situation, y'all, I have to put this out here. It was even TISA's own supporters as well if you had gone to that video, y'all, it was people who support her as well that said, yes, you did say it. They were telling her that under the comments. So it wasn't just a Diddy's team or Diddy's side. Her own followers were trying to tell her that. So, oh, y'all, I'm telling you, just gotta pay attention to some stuff too. She said they spent weeks trying to throw her out, which will be used tomorrow as prosecutors' conspiracy paid content creators to keep the negative press going. Uh-oh. Wow. Okay, so you were watching it that day? Wow. She's the problem now. She's a professional. Okay, told y'all, gaslighter. Oh, Lord. Oh, my gosh.
I at docs. Putting something she docked, but yet I'm being paid by the SDNY, but I'm violating a court order by doxing the victims and hurting their case. Okay, right? It's the same day that, and they tried to get me kicked out over that. And then it's the same day that that stupid argument happened over something I didn't even do. And the thing was, right? I thought about it because I'd be thinking, right? You know me, I'm always like thinking from different angles. And I think what happened was she knew I wasn't going to fight her. That's not me. No, baby, let me tell you something. I mean, let me just say this. I can handle myself. That's what I'm saying. Y'all don't got to worry about me.
For worth, do you
Okay.
own your own?
So TISA said out of her own mouth, y'all don't have to worry about her. Okay, she knows how to handle it. Nika Knight even said she saw that she knew how to handle it. Okay. You too, yours truly. Thank you for joining us today. So yeah, y'all, she gave it her own account on yesterday. So you can watch that video in its entirety on TISA Tales channel. Oh my goodness, y'all. I don't think we'll ever get to the fullness of how things were said, who started it, and so forth, because it's a lot of moving puzzles. I am going to check out the lady who put into the chat, the other content creator, and see how she broke that down. But I really, really wanted to present it in a way where everyone had their opportunity, the ones who are really, really involved in this, to share things from their perspective and what took place. And given, hey, it is what it is. Because some people are still not going to believe what happened. Even if a certain person says it, they're not going to take that person's word, or if someone else said it, they're not going to take. So it's all about if you're open to hearing various sides as well. We don't know these people in real life unless you have a relationship with them. And we can only take it at face value in what's being told to us. I don't have anything personally against any of them, but just wanted to kind of react to some of the things that have been stated and said. And now we are on our way back to the train station. Mary said that was a roller coaster. Okay, it definitely was. Look, y'all, we act like we've been on a real journey. Ramalena said my energy is drained. I'm ready to get back. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Glow Glam. Is it Glow Glam? Glow Glam Tara. Thank you for joining. And I wanted to, you said you did see. I want to take the time to say thank you all for taking this journey with us on today. I appreciate your support. Make sure you hit that like button. Also, a special shout out and thanks to all of the moderators that came in tonight. Dreamy Girl, Shelly Shells, and Lolo, only one Lolo with the info. And thank you. Shout out to all of the sponsors on tonight. Bramalena, Jay, Measured Man, Black Butterfly. Let's see. Yes. And thank y'all so much for being sponsors on tonight. And yes, I hope that, they can come to some resolve. Like Nika Knight said, they are going to probably come into each other's spaces again. And we don't want the content creator beef again. Okay. Like, how do you move forward and past it? Can we forgive and move on, have a conversation, do a panel? What is it that they need? They can come here. Hey, I'll host a panel discussion. But we will see how they work all of this out. But this has been a blast tonight, all around the world. Same song, right? Okay. Okay, it's Glow. Okay, thank you. I've been saying it the wrong way. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really want TISA to get help. Okay. Thank you everyone for supporting Open Book. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate it. Thank you so kindly. I love your intellect. Thank you. Thank you, Mary. And make sure if you have not subscribed, please be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell because you never know when I'm going to go live. Thank you all so much, and y'all have a blessed night. Yes, move forward, please.
You just flip through truth with the open book. If you felt that heat, like share and stay locked in. Another chapter done, but we far from finished. Truth on the mic, yeah, we handle business. Real talk, no fluff, just facts and fire. From the book to the block, we taking it higher. The open book, every voice matters, every lie shatters. Catch you next page.